So this is the last one in our series on how to solve financial maths question. The fifth part, the last example we're going to look at. Again, quick recap. In exam question, what are we asking? What are we trying to identify in the beginning? Are we dealing with conversion rate? So let's say yearly to monthly, monthly to yearly. Are we dealing with once of payment or many payments? When it comes to many payments, that's when it is more complicated, because either we are dealing with SN formula, which works for all situation, or we deal with amortization formula, which deals with one specific when we are talking about the end of the period and we're going from having money to not having money, and usually it's in that situation. But SN, the sum in geometric sequence, that works all the time as well in the same situation that amortization formula works. So let's have a look at the last example that we are having here. So Ronan wants to put the same amount of money in saving account at the start of each month for 36 months. So straight away, I understand this is many payments, isn't it? It's not once off, it's not conversion, not what I am told here. This is many payments that I am looking at. And here in this particular example, he doesn't have money, but he want to have money. So he go from 0 to money. So, I shouldn't cross both of them because it's only one part that we are crossing. So we know that in this option only is SN formula that's going to work. And does he pay at the end or at the start? And here we have that at the start of each month. Okay, so now we identify, we know it's going to be about SN. So, okay, right. Let's look at the first part. Taking A to be the amount Ronan puts in his account at the start of each month. So we are not told how much. We are saying he puts a certain amount. Write down a geometric series in A to show the total amount of money in the account at the end of the 3 years. Include the first two and the last two terms. So what I need to do, I need to give them the first two, the last two. They are not looking for all of them in between. Okay, so I know it's SN. So let's remove the items we don't need from here. Let's get our help about what I should fill in. Maybe let's move all of that so we have a bit of space to work. Okay. Oops. Now, so what I am looking at here, so I'm looking at this part of situation, isn't it? From zero money to having money, and since it is the beginning of the year, so those are the elements. And that's the reason why in that help, I have given you term 1 and term 2. So like in this kind of situation, this kind of question, you are able to identify how the sequence is formed. So let's go with that. Now, P here means what? The amount of money he's paying, isn't it? So in this case, that's our A. So that means my first term is A, multiply 1 plus interest rate. What was the interest rate? 11 per month, so 0.011. That goes to the power of all periods. And all periods, he is paying for what? For 36 months. So that will be 36. And as you can see, the next term is 1 month less. So then plus the next one is the same. Nothing changes. The only thing that changes here that the number of months is 35. So I have term 1, term 2, all the terms in the middle, and now I'm looking at the last terms. So the elements are the same. It's every time A multiplied by 1 plus our interest rate. Now, what about the powers? So if I'm going from 36, that means that my last one will be power of 1. And that means that before the one before the last will be power of 2. And there it is, we have our sequence created, showing. And therefore, in the second part, now let's see what is written here. Oops, and remove the ones that are unnecessary. So here in the second part, hence is saying find the value of A. So this is where we are filling in our numbers here. That we need for our SN formula. So we know that 12 is that total, 12 is the sum. That's how much he will have. Like I said, N always the same, all the periods, so in this case 36. Are always the same, 1 divided by 1 plus interest rate, so in this case 1.0011. And value of A, so the first term we just created that is A multiplied by 1.0011 to the power of 36. So now once we have that, all I have to do is to fill in the value. So I'm just going to do the first part. So 12,000, that equal fraction line A multiplied by 1.001136, then multiply bracket 1 minus R, and R is 1 over 1.0011, and that is taken to the power of 36, close bracket, and at the bottom 1 minus R, so 1 over 1.10011. So first we do what? Eliminate the bottom of the fraction by multiplying both sides. Then we are left with A multiplied by all these numbers. So to eliminate multiplication, we divide. So if I multiply by the denominator here, 1 minus 1, 1.1. Oh, that shouldn't be reading 1. That should be 0, 0, 1, 1. And then divided by the value beside A, 1.0011. 36. Let me remove that because you're going to write it. And then multiply by 1 minus 1 over 1.0011 to the power of 36. And when we put that in the calculator, we do get our answer. So again, very interesting example, different to the other ones, because here we are having that situation where we go from not having money to having money.